2022 is right around the corner and we've sat down to plan out our entire financial year. So here's a look at our annual budget for 2022. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals through the use of a budget. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any new videos. Today I'm going to be walking you through our 2022 annual budget in Excel to show you how we've planned our finances for the entire year. I like to look at our overall annual budget because it gives me a whole bigger picture look at the year and the goals that we want to reach for the year. And then we also budget every single month, which is also very important to set a specific budget for the month and then track your spending to see how it went. And I do a monthly budget every month and I share it here on my channel. So if you want to check out those videos, I will leave a link to that playlist up above and subscribe so you won't miss any additional monthly budget videos that I have to share. So the annual budget that you will see goes off of a lot of the financial goals that we set for 2022. I recently did a video talking about those goals. If you want to check that out, I will leave that here and you can check out that video. And I'll talk a little bit about these goals as we're getting into the budget because obviously you'll see that reflected in our annual budget. And then I also want to let you guys know that the budget template I'm using is one that you can get yourself on my shop. I will have a link to that in the description box down below and it's currently on sale. So if you're wanting to plan out your 2022 financial goals, and then also you get this as a download for you to keep forever, so then you can reuse it for future years as well. So if you want to get this template, I will have a link to that down below. It works in Excel, Google Sheets, numbers, all the things. So you can check it out there. And one big life thing that we have coming in 2022, which you'll see in our budget, is that we are expecting baby number 2 due in June. So we have an 18-month or 19-month-old son named Peter, and then we'll have another baby boy in the summer. So a lot of that will be reflected in our budget as well. So here's our budget for our family household of 4 in 2022. So the first thing that you see here in our budget is our income. I have Jacob's income and my income individually blocked out. So my husband Jacob, if you're new around here, Jacob works in product marketing and he works for an employer, but he does work from home, which is nice. So out of his paycheck comes taxes, our family health insurance, his 401k contribution, as well as HSA. We are planning to max out the HSA contributions this year. That's a big goal that we have at $7,300. We are on a high deductible health plan, and so we do get to have the HSA, which I love the HSA. So we'll have that for $7,300. And then another thing that's also deducted out is a dependent care FSA. So we have our 19-month-old son named Peter, and he recently just started daycare, and it's been so good for him. I'm so excited, and he just goes like 2 days a week. But there's obviously a cost associated with that, but we are able to utilize a dependent care FSA and put money into that, and then that money goes in tax-free, and then we can spend those dollars on dependent care, like daycare related expenses. So we also have that being deducted out of his paycheck for the entire year. So that being said, he has his income, but obviously a lot of those deductions right now. And then we have my income. I work for myself. I do everything here on YouTube, Instagram. I'm a content creator, if you want to say. So I take home a salary from my business. So the money that I have here is after tax money and after expenses and everything from my business. So as a grand total, you can see it monthly. This kind of fluctuates, mostly depending on Jacob's pay schedule. So the grand total of all of our income for this year is $102,656. So this is take-home pay after all taxes, insurance, HSA, FSA, like all the stuff. So now I want to show you guys how we plan to spend this income. So we use a zero-based budget, which means all of our income equals all of our expenses, debt, and savings, or like all the money out. So let me show you how we plan to spend all of this. The first thing that we have here is our expense section. We first off have our tithe. We are Christians and we believe in giving to our church and other organizations, and this is always something important to us. So the tithe is what we give to our church. Then we support 2 children in Rwanda through African New Life, and then we also support an additional missions organization. So I have all of these blocked out for privacy and also to give privacy for daycare, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Also, I'm just using natural sunlight for this video, and I feel like the clouds are going in and out, so I apologize if the lighting ends up being weird. I also tried to turn on the tree, but it was like looking really funky in the video. Let me see. Alexa, turn on the tree.
Okay.
like it's like flashing. I was like, it'd be really cute to have that on, but it's flashing and looks weird, so it's way too distracting. Alexa, turn off the tree. The next thing that we have here is our mortgage. So our mortgage is $2,220.50 each month. This includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance all together in one payment. Oh, and like looks, I don't know what happened here, but this one is not updated. So we'll have to go back and update that later in real time then. It didn't get dragged over all the way. The next thing that we have is our HOA. We live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, which I honestly don't mind. And so we pay $120, $146 each month. Then we have utilities. So I just kind of lumped everything together with garbage, water, sewer, electric, and natural gas, because these things fluctuate every month, but they kind of end up evening out. Like for example, our electric bill in the summer is always higher because we're using our central air, whereas our natural gas, which we use for heat, is a lot lower in the summer because we're not using heat, or that's then the opposite in the wintertime. So it kind of evens out to be about $200 a month for all of these utility type things. So I'm just putting that in there as a general estimate. Your annual budget is more of like a projection and doesn't need to be like 100% exact, so I just put $200 for general utilities. Then we have internet at $44.99 each month, which is standard, and then phones are at $115 each month. That's for my cell phone and Jacob's cell phone. Then we have insurance. This is for both of our cars, and we have a 2018 Highlander and a 2013 RAV4, and that is about $110 each month. Then we have life insurance, which is at $52.89 standard each month. We have a term life insurance policy on myself and my husband, Jacob. Then groceries. I've budgeted $500 a month for groceries, which feels insane, but that's about how much we spend on groceries now. A lot thanks to inflation. So we definitely used to spend closer to like $350 a month on groceries, but it's definitely gone up because of those inflated costs, and probably that we are maybe buying a little bit more because we have a toddler who like eats more food, but not that much more. I think a lot of this is due to inflation. Let me know if you've had to increase your grocery budget this year. Then we have eating out. We put $175 each month to eating out, and then gas at $100. We used to budget $40 a month for gas. I'm now budgeting $100 because also an inflated cost, as we've noticed. Then we have miscellaneous at $125. There's always something random that comes up during the month, so having a place to put something random is important. So miscellaneous, it's also kind of like a buffer, honestly, so $125. Then we have money for Peter, which I need to change this to like kids investing. Okay, so every month we've been putting $50 a month into a brokerage account that's in our names, but we plan to be able to gift this to Peter when he is older for different life events. Like we'd love to be able to help him with a first car or down payment on a house or a wedding or something like that. And we want to keep that in our names personally, and then, you know, make sure that Peter's also contributing to these things and like working towards these things, and then we can help him with it. So that's why we have it set up the way we do. I know that a lot of people will do this differently. So I'll leave a link down below to an article that I found helpful in like saving for kids or like investing for your kids, and the pros and cons with like different methods that you choose to go. But this is just why we've done this personally, not an investment professional, not a financial advisor, but just for us personally. Anyway, so we are saving $50 a month into this account that then is hopefully going to continue to grow over the years, and we'll have the money saved to be able to gift to him at some point. So right now we've been putting $50 a month for Peter, but our plan is that when our second son is born, we would like to also put $50 a month into that for him. So in July, I'm due June 21st. So in July, we are planning to do $100 that will go towards these investing things that are in our names, but for our kids, for the future for our kids. Next thing we have here is college. We are putting $200 a month right now into Peter's 529 college savings plan. And then again, when we have our second son, we want to start saving for him as well, another $200. So that'll be $400 a month starting in July 2022. Next we have is daycare. So like I said, we have been able to utilize a dependent care FSA for 2022. So we are planning to use that first with our daycare related expenses, and then we will have to cover the remaining expenses for the year for daycare after we reach the amount put to our FSA. So I plan that we'll have to do that around August, and then we'll pay every month for the remainder of the year. But it's nice that we at least get this much of it as like tax-free money with the dependent care FSA. So I also have this blocked out just for privacy of like where we're sending Peter and like that amount and everything. Next we have is our Roth IRA. So this is another big goal that we have this year. We want to max out 2 Roth IRAs. So that is $6,000 per Roth IRA, so $12,000 total. And let's see, this first month in January, we're not able to put anything to it. We'll see down below how that all works out as well, other things that we have going on. And then this is kind of the line item that every extra dollar is going to, honestly. So we have this changing every single month to just be like every extra dollar to make our budget balanced, to give that zero-based budget. So as you can see, like the total for the year is only $10,665 that I have planned to save, which isn't the max for the Roth IRAs. So that's kind of a bummer. I really want to be able to hit that max for the $12,000. So maybe during the year, if we, if Jacob gets a raise or something, or find additional ways to make more money or things that we can cut out of our budget, like hopefully we can get to that $12,000. The other thing that I'm assuming we'll have, but I don't want to budget for it, is a tax refund. I've been saving money every month into a savings account to cover our end of year tax bill, but I won't know how much we exactly owe until like February or March. But I am very, very sure that I've been saving more money in there than I need to cover all of my taxes, because I am self-employed, I do pay taxes. So once we know how much we actually owe in taxes and then we pay that remaining bill, whatever I have set aside in that account that we've saved for taxes, I'll give us as like our tax refund and enter that into our budget and have that go towards our Roth IRAs. So I'm hoping that by like March, April, I'll know how much that can be and then would be able to put more into our Roth IRAs and have that additional income. I don't want to plan for it in our budget because you never know what that's going to be. I don't want to plan for something before I know exactly what that amount would be. So anyway, those are all of our expenses, or all the money that's going out of our bank account for the year that we're planning. So now to look at our savings section, we have a lot of things that we're saving for this year. So the first thing that we have here is our emergency fund. We want to get our emergency fund up to $15,000, which we're very, very close by the end of 2021. So that's why it'll just take like 2 months about for us to reach that $15,000 mark for our emergency fund. Next we have is Jacob. Jacob gets $250 of personal spending money each month. I get $100 just simply because I don't feel like I like to spend as much money. I'd rather save it and put it towards like other financial goals. But Jacob has more hobbies and things that he enjoys, like wants to do. So I feel like that's totally fair. I could probably do $250 if I wanted to, but I'd rather just put more money to our goals. So next we have is extra giving. We are putting $50 a month into extra giving fund, which allows us to say yes to additional giving opportunities when they come up. And then we have a gifts fund as well that we put $50 a month into for things like baby showers, wedding, birthday party, I don't know, anything that we need to get a gift for someone. And then clothing, $50 a month for clothing for myself and Jacob. And then we have vacation. We're putting $150 to that this year. We are planning on taking vacation in May. We are planning to go to Southern California, do Disneyland with our family. So that'll be a lot of fun. But we have most of those things already paid for, I guess. Like we've already bought the flights, and we're going to be staying with family like for free, so we don't have a lot of other expenses coming up. So I think we're going to have plenty of money set aside for that trip. And then also with having a newborn in 2022, I'm not planning for us to take any other trips. Our only vacation will probably be the Disneyland one, and that's okay. So next we have is Christmas. We are setting aside $100 a month for Christmas. You guys, now is an amazing time to start planning for Christmas 2022. Start a sinking fund for it, save money every month into your sinking fund, and then by the time that Christmas rolls around, you'll have enough money set aside for Christmas and have the money to be spent. So we plan to do this $100 each month. Next we have is medical, which is another big financial goal that we have for this year. Like I said, we're on the high deductible health plan. I'm also having a baby, and we are planning to max out our HSA, which is $7,300 for the year. but we would like to not touch the money in our HSA. We'd like to be able to invest that and save it for future. So we'd like to be able to cover all of these medical expenses out of pocket. Our max out of pocket for our family health plan is only $6,000, which I feel like is actually pretty low for a high deductible health plan. But therefore, I'm planning to save $6,000 to cover all the money that we're going to be spending probably with labor and delivery. And then also because we're planning to like spend a lot in medical expenses this year and basically meet the max out of pocket, if not be very close. We also are planning to do a few other medical things that we've been putting off that we'll take care of this year. So I'm giving birth in June, so I want to have all the money set aside. I assume that I'll get the bill from the hospital in either like July or August because it kind of takes a while. So here I have shown that I want to be able to save all this money by July, and I have $6,500 saved. And like I said, the max out of pocket is $6,000, but I want to save a little extra because I know that during the year we may have other medical related expenses that we plan to spend money on. Like if I ever buy vitamins or something like that, like I put it to medical, or get like a humidifier or something like that, like put it to medical. So just for those like random expenses. So that is another big goal that we're making a priority at the beginning of the year to make sure we have saved for. Then we have cord blood registry. We did cord blood banking with Peter when he was a newborn, and there's an annual fee for that. So we just save $31 each month, and that way we can cover the annual fee. Then we have dues and subs. We are saving $37.50 each month to cover dues and subscriptions that come up every year. Basically, we don't have very many, but they all seem to come up in November at the same time. Like our Costco renewal, our Disney Plus renewal, and then we had a car registration, and then we have another car registration coming up soon. And those car registrations are expensive here in Oregon. We paid $250 for our registration in November. So it just really bursted the budget because it was like we had to pay all these things all at once. So instead I took the total of like what we'd spend on those annual dues and subs, and I'm just saving for it every month. So that way it doesn't like burst our budget for like that 1 month a year when it comes up. Oh, and the car registration is every other year, so $250 every other year. I'm not sure what it is where you live, but I feel like that's pretty high for us in Oregon, $250 every other year. Next we have, and it gets higher every year too. Next we have is car maintenance. We save $75 a month for car maintenance to cover any sort of repair necessary for our cars. And then house maintenance at $400 each month to cover any sort of household care or maintenance. Then household, we put $100 a month into this, which covers things like paper towels, toilet paper, soap, detergent, like random household things. And then kids. So I've previously called this the baby fund, if you've seen that in my budget report videos, but we've put $100 each month into a baby fund to cover things for Peter, like diapers, wipes, clothing, toys, like all the things. But now that we're going to be having a newborn and then also having a toddler, I'm going to increase this to $250 once the baby is born. And I know this is more than doubling, but just because $100 each month has been kind of hard to cover for Peter, so it honestly should be closer to maybe like $150. But I'm just gonna see if I can wait and get through, and then once we have the baby, I'll bump this up to $250 to cover all of their sorts of monthly related expenses. Next we have is baby number 2. So like I said, baby is born in June, and because this is my second baby and my second boy, there are very few things that we need, but I do have a few things that we are going to need for him. So planning on saving $1,700. I kind of made a list of like all the things that I want to get and how much they all cost, and it ends up being about $1,700. So I split that between January to June and determined we need to save $285 each month, and that way we'll have all the money set aside for the few things that I need to get for baby number 2. So then down here I have a zero balance check. Like I said, we have a zero base budget, so it should equal 0. But if you remember earlier in the budget, I had to make that change. So we actually have $49.50 left over. I'm going to put that to the Roth IRA because that's like where we're putting every extra dollar. So we now have $21.79.86 to go to that. So that is our annual budget, our plan for 2022. I feel like that was a lot of info. So thanks so much for hanging out and checking out this video. And also, if you want to get started with budgeting, or maybe budgeting feels overwhelming or confusing to you, I have a course called the Budget Breakdown course, which walks you through everything you need to know about budgeting. It's at a very affordable cost at only $37, and you get lifetime access. It's a video course and filled with content that can help you to be able to create your budget and maintain it as time goes on, and be able to use your budget to work on your financial goals. So if you want to check out that course, I will have it linked down below and you can check it out there. And also don't forget to check out that budget template, and I will have that linked below as well. And I will look forward to seeing you in that next video. Bye guys.
About to leave